The Sunday Spank.
Every time. Every time. Every time.
Well, all right. It's been a while since we did one of these, right, fellas?
Yeah. It's been a while.
Man, this is always a fun format, though, man. I always enjoy having our good friend Spanky on. And speaking of which, man, Spanky, what are we doing today, bro?
Well, today, and thank you very much for asking, we are doing the beginning of James Gunn's new DCU with a couple of caveats. It is Creature Commandos. As I said, it was written by James Gunn and directors Matt Peters and Sam Liu. And a stellar voice cast, Joe. Are you ready for this list?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go into
ready.
Indira Varma as the bride, Sean Gunn as G.I. Robot and Weasel, Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus, Zoe Chow as Nina Mazursky. But we're not finished there, Joe. No, there's more. We have Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., David Harbour as Frankenstein, Maria Bakalova as Princess Ilana.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's an animated television program, Joe. It's not live action, but it was very much a lively start to James Gunn's DCU.
Right off the bat, I got to say, like, my favorite bit of casting is Grillo. I love that he is finally getting like a mainstay role in like one of these universes, because like Marvel has totally squandered the awesomeness that is Grillo, and I'm glad that he's going to play something as cheesy as Rick Flag. I mean, that's just going to be so much fun, and he's literally going to be like in all the projects upcoming. You know what I mean? That's kind of a Colton character. I was thinking,
and it's great because you could cast him live action as well. Like, I mean, he's
Well,
not
he's
just a
gonna
voice
show up.
actor, right? Yeah, most of these actors aren't just voice actors. So
he's going to be in Superman. So as Rick Flag,
he's going to be in Superman. Yeah, so that was one of the things that James Gunn, when people signed up to the roles, any animated roles, they were then taking on the live action character as well. So, for example, I mean, Dave Harbour is Frankenstein. I mean, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him kind of stumbling around in as well, it wouldn't be himself, would it? It'd still be CGI, but yeah, I mean, it's a great cast. I mean, if this was a film, this has got like
David Arbor's got the shape where he could play a mean Frankenstein, man. He's got that shaped head. His frame is a little wide, I guess, but like I've seen like chunky Frankensteins before. I think Arbor can pull it off. I also like if he can't, like Michael Shannon, like you barely have to put anything on that guy to play Frankenstein.
Michael Shannon, that's the one who did Swamp Thing. He's the guy who does all those big creatures, right? He dresses up.
No,
he did,
Michael Shannon. Yeah, he did the bad guy. He did Zod.
Zod from Manuscript.
His face. You just have to paint his face green, right? I mean,
you don't have to put nothing on him, man. Draw a couple stitches on him.
In actual fact, you'd have to smooth him out with makeup, just so it's like people believe it more. Yeah. But like David Harbour, when he was Hellboy, he put on quite a bit of like lean mass for that as well. And if you can be a semi-convincing Hellboy, then Frankenstein's in the bag.
Yeah. I wish he did something a little more with his voice, though. Like, I'll save that for the end of the show when we talk about our.
I don't have very many negative things to say about this show, but I'll touch on that later at the end before we sign off. There's just a little like I'm with you on that one, Johnny, but we'll touch on it later. Yeah.
Good grief! I'm just going deeper and deeper down the cast. Michael Rooker's in it. Lisa Cardellini. Diedrich Bader. Now he's not a top draw actor, but if you look through a lot of the animated shows of any notoriety in the last 10 years, he's generally there. God, this is crazy. Shura Agdashlu. She's the the name probably you won't remember, but she is whenever there's like an Israeli part, like an Israeli actress.
Yeah.
She's got that. She has that raspy voice as well.
She's the
very
brothel.
raspy.
She's the head of the brothel.
Yes.
Yes. I always recognize her. Yeah.
Are you talking about the
Yes.
lady from The Expanse?
Yeah,
Kind of gruff voice?
yeah. In The Expanse, yeah, she was in 24, Star Trek Beyond,
I
House
like
of
that
Sand and
lady.
Fog.
Emily Rose.
she's great.
Exorcism
she's in
of Emily
everything,
Rose.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
If you watch a TV show, she's bound to show up on it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. She's in a lot of
100%,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
And I gotta say, it's gutsy to kick off the DCU with an animated show series on top of that. I think it was genius, right? It buys them a little bit of time to really get his ducks in a row, you know, and it's such an obscure, like Creature Commandos isn't your A-list team or anything, so it gives him a lot of room to play, right? A lot of liberties he can take with this IP.
Yeah.
that's how Gunn is. He likes the D and Z listers. You know what I mean? He enjoys. I think they probably had to actually force him to make Superman. That's like my prediction. That's what I've said the whole time.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Johnny. That was one of the two things I was about to say. Why it's so genius that this was first off the bat. It gives James Gunn something that's close to his heart. The ragtag bunch of misfits with tragic backstories that come together to do something good for the first time in their lives. But what it also does is it stops the questions of, well, we've got Peacemaker series 2, we've got Amanda Waller, and then we had Jason Momoa and whatever their name is from The Flash, Ezra Miller in the previous one, and it just put the question there straight away. Well, how does it work? And he says, well, the bits that work, and the bits that don't. The bits that they talk about, that's still canon, and the bits that don't make sense simply aren't. So it just gave him, with new brew straight away.
And and also I think it's gutsy with how brutal this show is. I mean, like I think that this is even gorier and more horrible than the Peacemaker show was. You know what I mean? With the
And I think you can, because it's animated. You could get away with a little more, right? Like animated violence isn't as disturbing as, let's say,
I think he's planning on doing
live
this
action type violence.
I think he's literally planning on doing this in live action, since The Authority is going to be one of the first 5 movies. I'm getting the feeling that his Authority movie is going to be
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
That's really struggling, actually. They're really finding it difficult to have a script done. I think it was supposed to be not the one directly after Superman, because that was going to be Batman. What's it called? Like the Grant Morrison with
like that, right?
Yeah, with Damian Wade, and then I think it was going to be coming afterwards. But they're really struggling to lock down a director and a script and a writer, and that's what James Gunn's been all about. I mean, look at Swamp Thing. Someone came up with a good Swamp Thing script, and they went, "Yeah, okay, that's going to be the 3rd film we release." And what was the other one that was announced recently? Another horror film, like out and out horror. And the bloke just came through with a script that was ready, and he went, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it." So,
for the DCU, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The only things I can think of is Dead Man, maybe The Spectre. Well, they're doing another John Constantine with
I don't
Keanu.
know if that. I think that one's been shelved as well. I think.
Has it? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's still considered Vertigo, anyways. I don't think they try to tie that into his Superman shit.
Yeah, but what this does, if you look at what's happening with Marvel over the last 5 years, that Marvel Studios, which is as a studio, they can only make superhero films. So if the arse ever falls out of superhero films, if there's ever no interest, for the amount that they cost to make, there'll be a point where Marvel Studios can't exist as an entity because the film's going to cost more than the interest. The really smart thing that James Gunn's doing is he can make films that people don't necessarily know the characters or the IP, but he can make a grimy, like Irish thriller sort of horror film or something like Man-Thing, and he can keep on making films. I mean, like when Man-Thing was released in the Blade films with Marvel Studios before they were Marvel Studios as they were. Yeah, it's really clever, really clever.
They kind of proved that they could, but like they haven't tried to do anything since Werewolf by Night. And I think like if Marvel did what like James Gunn's doing and tapped into like the horror side of the 70s shit from Marvel, because they had Frankenstein comics and Dracula comics and all that too. And I would love to see like Marvel's like mustachioed fucking Dracula running around. But they won't do it. You're right.
They won't. They just won't.
Some cheesy superhero talking about. I don't know what they talk about anymore in those movies.
So man, Creature Commandos. This ushers in a new era for the DCU, which is, I mean, well needed, right? I think just comic book movies in general needed a breath of fresh air, a new direction, And I think so far from this series, it definitely shows that maybe we're gonna get that. And taking a step back from the big IP, like the big, like Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, taking a step back, giving people something that's easy to get on ground zero, right? Where there's like Creature Commandos, first appeared in 1980 in a comic called Weird War Tales or something like that, and only made an appearance on issue 93, I believe. Yeah, so this was the original Creature Commandos. It had a soldier Frankenstein, a werewolf, some magician, wizard, hypnotist guy. Anyway, and it wasn't anything big. It didn't set the world on fire. And I think it took maybe another 10 issues before they even made another appearance in that comic. So yeah. So this team right now of Creature Commandos is kind of a mishmash of stuff that came after as well. Like I think GI Robot's the only original character, I think, on this team. This group of characters right now that form the Creature Commandos.
He's made up for the show, is what you're saying?
No, GI Robot was part of the original comic, and Frankenstein, as we know it in this version, is the Frankenstein that was rebooted by Grant Morrison and Doug Mankey to give you the Frankenstein we have today in this show, and it's more newer iterations now in the comics. Yeah.
Just said his name, Joe. What's he called? Robot Soldier.
GI Robot.
GI Robot, of course.
Yeah.
So this is, if you notice, there's a 2 on him, which means that it's the second time he was put back together. And I think in the comics now it's up to about number 7.
Possibly, yeah. I haven't been a big reader. The only things I've read that are relevant to the show are actually DC put together a nice little collection of the only 2 things I've kind of read that relevant to the show are the Frankenstein books. One was, like I mentioned before, the 7 Soldiers by Grant Morrison and Doug Mankey. And during the New 52, Jeff Lemire actually did a run of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Frankenstein with Ponticelli as the artist. And I really enjoyed that series. I thought it was fun. And now they put together a little trade collecting both those stories together in one volume that you could go pick up if you want to catch up on a little bit on Frankenstein, his backstory. They talk about the bride a lot. So, so that's pretty cool. You could go find that.
I like the one thing that I think is weird is in the Grant Morrison one, the bride has 4 arms, but like nowadays they don't represent her that way. Like what changed? Did she get like
I don't know.
I kind of like the 4-armed version. I thought she was really cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. She just got like that more insect-like kind of look to her. It was great. I love the 4-armed bride. I prefer it myself as well.
And but also the Lemire,
cool. Yeah,
the Lemire book.
4, I think, in Lemire. No.
Yeah, she showed back up. She was part of the team.
Yeah, she showed back up, and there was tension there. So there is like kind of this disconnect in the comics. I don't know if it's to the point where it's like in the show where he's like a stalker, basically, in the show, right? Frankenstein stalks the bride. He's like a very
no, he did do that. Like if you because she was talking shit about him in the Grant Morrison series in the issue she was in for him like tormenting her throughout most of her early life, and that like they're just finally starting to get along in that book.
Yeah, the Lemire one, right?
No, in the Grant Morrison one,
the
Lemire one, like it's kind of like they've been work buddies, but like they have a past. It's a little bit like the show, but he's not like chasing around murdering everybody.
No, that's it. They really James Gunn goes hard on it and on the show compared to the comics. That part of the Frankenstein character, yeah.
I'd never heard of them before the announcement, but I noticed DC combined quite a few of because there's never really been a big ongoing Creature Commando series. There's been a couple of minis here and there, but again, they've done the combined individual issues from was it Tales of War or whatever it was?
Weird Wars.
Weird Wars, and they've put them into a graphic novel as well. But I mean, in the New 52, they really did try to push a horror line. I mean, Abnett did Resurrection Man. If you look, Lemire did
Animal Man.
Was when he did Animal Man. He also did I, Vampire, which was the first time that him and Sorrentino were together. So there was the start of a legacy there. But yeah, I mean, I can't. Other than Marvel in the 90s, it's very rare that a publisher goes all out on a horror line. They usually use patience very, very quickly.
Yeah, they had I, Vampire. Like even the Batman books were pretty horrific. You had the Texas Chainsaw Joker, and then if you read the Dark Knight series by when Greg Horowitz took over, the Cycle of Violence series with the Scarecrow, where he's like sewing people's mouths shut and shit. Like even the Batman stuff was pretty brutal during that time.
Yeah. And we previously recorded a couple of years ago. We did a Morrison month, and we talked about the Seven Soldiers Frankenstein. I dropped a link in the chats if people want to go check out that older episode. You can go listen to that later on if you want. The Seven Soldiers Frankenstein Morrison and Mad Key miniseries. So yeah, you can go check that out if you like.
It's cool. It's like a 4-issue series, and like each issue kind of feels like you're reading just a book out of like an era of the series. It doesn't really actually read like a actual mini series. It reads like you just picked random issues of an ongoing run, and I really enjoy that kind of format. I kind of wish Grant Morrison would do a little more of that, just another 4 or something like that.
So what are your guys' thoughts on the lineup of characters that form this team, the Creature Commandos?
I think to an extent, I don't think the actual characters as avatars really matter that well. I think it's how they're written, and I think when you're in the hands of James Gunn, I mean, look at Peacemaker. Like, there was no way that series should have been as good as it was. Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think really the lineup is basically what's being drawn on the page. It really comes down to the writing. I think James Gunn, he has knowledge. That's one thing you can't dispute. And with this, he picks a good amount of different eccentricities that just work really well together in the team.
Yeah. And, he goes with Weasel, right? Because Weasel was such a beloved character from the Suicide Squad movie that I think he had to, right? I think he just knew it was a fan so he had to throw that character in there. And what a great, we'll get to that after what our favorite episodes were, but the Weasel and this series acts as almost a series of origin stories, right? Each character kind of gets their own episode that tells their backstory, right? So it's great. It gives a lot of backstory, a lot of context to the characters, like you said, Matt. So it adds a lot to these characters right off the bat. And I think that's what was genius about doing this miniseries, right? Well, it's going to have a second season too. So you really develop these characters and make people feel for them. And
and then kill a couple of them.
Yeah.
And it felt like a TV series. It didn't feel like an animated film that had been stretched out. And that's something that Marvel's been struggling with a lot.
Yeah.
I think that you could cut this together as a movie pretty easily, though. I think it really kind of reads kind of like a James Gunn movie, but we got like a scene at a time. Like that's kind of how I felt when the episodes were coming out, how it read to me. And as for the characters, I think it's a great lineup. I'm pretty much new to all of them except for Frankenstein and the Bride.
Very much so.
But like, yeah, and I think I know Dr. Phosphorus too, because like he's a Batman.
Yeah, he was in Batman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I like his episode was really cool. I'm glad that they like kind of brought in stuff that people would recognize from like the Bruce Timm Batman, like Rupert Thorne and shit like that. I thought that was pretty cool that like they kind of took stuff from the hollowed antiquity and they're like, yeah, we're gonna fuck this up and make it you know, disturbing. Now we're gonna make Rupert Thorne completely despicable, where in the cartoon he's kind of a weaselly little bastard, you know.
And it's great because you have a pretty known character makes his DCU premiere in this series as well, as like a really side note is Sergeant Rock. Makes his DCU premiere, and I think they have plans for that character moving forward in the DCU as well.
See, that's the one thing that they could do and like make a bunch of money off of nostalgia is their war comics, man. I think that there is a for like Unknown Soldier and for Sergeant Rock and Enemy Ace. I really think that like they could probably run a line of war films.
Yeah, Daniel Craig's in talks to play Sergeant Rock in the the upcoming film.
Who does the voice for Sergeant Rock in this?
Now you're asking.
I didn't see it. I Sergeant. No, that's not him.
Another cool one was Dr. Magnus, the creator of Metal Men. He was in the same episode. I really like seeing him being introduced and kind of working on G.I. Robot. That's some good DC lore right there.
Okay.
It was Maury Sterling.
Okay, so he won't be. There's no chance in hell that guy's playing Sergeant Rock in it.
No.
He'll play him on TV.
I mean, he can ask.
He can play him on CW.
Yeah.
One guy I thought like Daniel Craig. Sure, he's got the. He's physically.
He's a little short. I think like
Sergeant. I thought what's his name? I find looks like a Joe Kubert drawing is the guy who was in the Spider-Man movie and he was in the last Venom movie. The British actor. He plays the kicker in The Replacements with Keanu Reeves as well. I think.
Reese Ifans.
Yes, I find he looks so much like a Joe Kubert drawing. I mean.
He's way too scrawny. Like they'd have to fucking roid him out to play Sergeant Rock, man.
No, but Sergeant Rock started scrawny. When Joe Kubert first drew him, he wasn't a physical specimen. He was this scrawny guy with that, and it looked like he had a giant head with his helmet, right? Because his body wasn't he was lean, but he wasn't like muscular or broad-shouldered. He was a very normal-looking man, like body type-wise. So I don't know.
He's very Welsh, though, Joe.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He can't do it. He can't get rid of his accent.
Oh, he can. You saw him in Spider-Man. Yeah. But
well, Peter, I don't think that's going to work, boyo. I'm something of a scientist myself, Peter.
Yeah, he played the lizard, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Oh, I really. Oh my God. I'm starting to sound more and more Indian. Well, Peter.
Switched it up.
I've made a mess of this, haven't I? They're very similar accents. Give me a break. I tried.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of the narrative of the film? I thought that like the actual like journey and adventure in the movie in the show is pretty odd. Like I thought it was kind of a neat way to kind of like take the
like fighting a bunch of incel terrorists.
No. The way that the team gets broken up, like the way that the actual story comes about, because it's not a fluid narrative. They don't work as a team really, even at the end. Like it's a really disjunct show, but at the same time, it works very well. And like I was wondering how you guys kind of felt about that.
Well, basically, he took the recipe that was Suicide Squad and applied it to Creature Commandos. Is basically what he did, because that's what's her name is there, right? Waller, yeah, she's like kind of the head of it. So basically, this is just like I think a continuation of like pretty much what Suicide Squad is.
Yeah,
right?
they had
it's more or less a sequel to Suicide Squad.
Yeah, they had Diebeard from Suicide Squad and Peacemaker show up. They had Waller, and they talked about stuff that directly happened in Suicide Squad. So that's completely still canon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean,
when it first came out, I was watching it week by week because I enjoyed it so much. However, I think rewatching it, and especially in one go over the last couple of days, I think the machinations and the subterfuge are less impactful. And in actual fact, I kind of fell at a place where it's kind of like Indiana Jones. Is it the Holy Grail one or whatever it is? Where if Indy hadn't have got involved, the Nazis would have just got the treasure and then they would have melted.
Yeah,
and it was kind of like that. If they hadn't have got involved, then Cersei would have just taken her out, and then jump them.
Yeah, but then you would get to all the stories for the individual characters.
you wouldn't get any story, mate. It would have been
that's it. Yeah,
15 minutes long. It would have been played. It would have been played at halftime at the Super Bowl, and that was it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
it's a lot of. It's so much fun, and again with James Gunn, what he does is tragic characters that are misunderstood, and you put them together to do a bit of good. And do you know what? I'm here for that. He can carry on doing that because it's really fun. It is fun. It's a lot of fun. But
this show was a lot of fun.
You feel things as well, don't you? You feel things.
Yeah. He tugs at the heartstrings with their stories.
You feel things, and then he shows you again how inhuman they are, like with the iron pot and like some of the other things that most of the characters besides friend Nina do. Like they're kind of a despicable lot, which is pretty fun. Like I said, like it's weird that DC with their like media output like are putting something this edgy like out as like their offering. You know what I mean? It's kind of really neat. It's well needed too, in my opinion.
All I have to say is thank you for them for doing this, because I need this in my comic book movie world where I don't know. I need some edge, man. I really do, and this definitely fits the bill. And it was not refreshing, but a nice change from what comic book movies were becoming.
Yeah, I mean Harley Quinn as well. That's been going for 3 or 4 years now, and that kind of set the table for more edgy, sweary, hyper-violent animation, mainstream animation.
Hey Al, how's it going? Yes, there's nothing wrong with edging.
Yeah. What is Harley Quinn as mean-spirited as Suicide Squad is? Because like I watched some of it, and like it was kind of corny, funny and stuff, but like I don't remember it being like as I just kind of like
it's as violent, but it's done in a very jokey way, so you don't really feel any of the violence. Whereas when Dr. Phosphorus is palming someone's face as it just passes through the back of his head, and all that's left is barbed bits of gum and teeth and skin flapping in the wind. There's a verisimilitude to the violence in this, where it is animated, but you're like, oh god, that's a bad way to go. Whereas in Harley Quinn, it's like, oh, she fucked him up again.
Yeah.
And then with Weasel, you're just like, oh, he's so cute. He's so. Oh wait, look at what he just fucking did to that guy. Like,
God, and he went SA loco crazy. He was biting and clawing the fucking blood. It was just relentless.
Yeah. I love the violence in this show, and it's so well done.
On
so
Sarah,
well done.
wasn't it? Yeah. Was it Sarah? Sarah. The Wonder Woman villain.
Oh, Cersei.
Cersei. Yeah. When they subdue her, and then Phosphorus has got her by the face and giving her a claw.
You just hear her scream too. Like, god damn, the actress could scream. That was brutal. You could tell that even though she's like an immortal, like, demigoddess, from Themyscira, like it still hurts, when a toxic atomic man grabs your face.
Yeah.
How do you think Weasel managed to penetrate? Because he was Like it's just a sharp object, isn't it? And like bullets were pretty much bouncing off her. Do you think he has kind of not like enchanted, but a part of his powers is just he can break through magic with his claws or something? Or do you think you just got to allow it?
Yeah, I think that it's just because of how vicious he is. I think he's probably stronger than a man is, but like,
Yeah.
And like, you can probably, if she doesn't got her cuffs on and you get a good blow in, you could probably like stab Wonder Woman. Like, I think that's happened before when she didn't have her little cufflinks on. Like the reason why she's so impenetrable is because of her magic trinkets that she uses.
Yeah. And I think you just got to allow it to a certain point. Like he is probably stronger than a normal man, but then just for the sake of it being cool, you got to allow it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna think too hard about it. You gave me a fucking awesome scene. I'll allow it because it was so damn cool.
It was so cool as well.
All right. So what was like your favorite episode? This was what? How many episodes were there? 6?
7. I think it was 7.
7. So what would you say is your favorite episode?
I think it's going to be tied to which of the flashbacks I like the most.
Yeah.
And that probably means which was the most tragic. So do you know what? I'm going to say the final episode because Nina was such a sweetie through the whole of the series, and you kind of just wanted to protect her from the rest of the shitbags in the team, but also protect her from the villainy. You just felt she was so out of place. And then her backstory was, well, I mean, look, it was, if they had 7 backstories, it was what, 5 out of the 7 where someone they cared about got shot or killed, and that's what made them misunderstood.
Yeah.
But her specifically, and again, how this uses it being an R-rated animation or like an adult animation, they could really show how despicable bullying can be. It's not just laughing at you, saying, "Oh, you've got a big butt." Like they were going when they were saying, "Say ribbit, bitch," and they were really horrible. So my favorite is probably the one that's the most despicable. Yeah. And also, I mean, we're free to talk about how it ended, or
we'll just spoilers, people.
Yeah. So, are you going to put the the spoiler klaxon on?
What's that?
The spoiler klaxon that makes me jump out.
Spoilers.
Yeah, that's the.
I forgot we even had that. Damn. Thanks for bringing that back.
I sat bolt upright even though I asked for it. But because of her horrible end in the final episode, that she's not a killer, and then she's persuaded that to save the world you have to kill the princess. And by the way, Bakalova was perfect as the princess as well. Sort of sultry, a little bit slutty, if we're allowed to say that, but also very manipulative and controlled as well. Like the subtleties in the performance was fantastic. But then the way Nina got done in that final episode, I didn't want to. Even like when I watched it the first time, I was in denial. I was like, "There's no way she's dead." It hit her in the lower abdomen. She could bleed out. As long as they get a helmet back on, put a helmet back on, bring her back to base. And then I watched it when I was finished watching it this morning. I was like, "Oh, she's really dead." Oh no! Oh no!
And that's one of the few times you see the bride has a little bit of humanity in her, right? Yeah, when that character dies, you see it affects her, and you see she's not lost to the world yet. Like there's still some hope for her to be not just this cold shell killing machine, right? Like there's some humanity left in her, even though she's a monster, right?
A thing I liked about the episode you picked, Matt, is like Weasel once again, because like you kind of like had that whole thing where like he was associating the princess with somebody from his past. So I thought maybe he was going to protect her, but like No, he's got loyalty to his team, which was pretty cool to see. You know what I mean? Like as weird and feral as he is, I thought that was kind of a nice little wondering where it would go. You know, nice little crux to the episode.
Yeah,
and I like the way it wasn't finished twisting and turning even after the finale. That there was still an epilogue. Where the final, and that. Did you notice that Mary Shelley, when she's looking through the bookcase, when she's doing the kind of speech to the princess, and Mary Shelley didn't write Frankenstein, she wrote Matilda.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
yeah. And then the sort of final reveal, and then she's like, "I'm not killing you because they were right. I'm killing you because you killed my only friend." And then you sort of punch the air and you go, "Yes! Kill that bitch! Kill her good!"
Oh, she killed her good, all right.
Kill that sexy princess bitch!
Now, Matt, you're starting to sound like those incel terrorists.
Yeah.
Whoa. Look, just to be even-handed, that was one sexy frog and a sexy corpse as well. It made me ask questions that I wasn't prepared with, and I'm an open-minded gentleman, Joe, as you know.
I found out you can't visit the waterfalls, Matt. One of my favorite breakdowns at that one incel had. Like, we don't get to, us dudes don't get to have waterfalls.
But right, why did I'll probably shall I leave it till I'll leave it till one of the things that annoyed me.
Annoyed you, yeah, because we have
not
very many, but short little things. All right, you want me to go, Johnny, or you want to give your favorite episode?
You want to go, Joe?
Yeah, I'll go. Mine's simple. I mean, you guys know me. You know the type of person I am. GI Robot is my favorite episode. As you can see, I chose it as one of the background pieces. Just the brutality, the animated violence and gore was just breathtaking. I was like, yes, they're not holding back. The eyeballs, the teeth shattering from bullets, the heads exploding like melon fruit. I mean, it was fantastic. And they slow motioned it a little bit too to make sure you didn't miss it. They didn't rush through it. They served it to you on a platter and said, "Savor this." And I was like, I'll savor every morsel. And I loved it. Just the brutality and the violence of that episode was just it was so good.
That was 4, right?
I think so. 3 or 4.
And that one's got a couple really good action scenes. Like, well, we're probably going to show one later. The first one in it, which is very satisfying. We talked about like having Sergeant Rock and Easy Co in it. Like,
yeah, and I like the story where his programming, like he can't get past his programming where he's constantly looking for Nazis, and like, and it is throughout the show. He's like, "Are they Nazis? No, GI, they're not Nazis." Ah, shucks, like I don't get to kill Nazis today, So, yeah, I love him. He's got a certain innocence to him, right? Because he's like a singular goal is kill Nazis, but he's such a lovable character aside from his Nazi bloodlust, right? So,
and then that whole bit where like he gets bought by like that dude, and like they kind of cool with each other until he takes him to the fucking town meeting, and
yeah, and that's another kind of brutal scene, and it's good.
Because you didn't know how he would go. You thought maybe like, oh, this guy took care of him, and like the cats, you know what I mean? He might be, and like, nope. Out comes the gun and just, but he had to get arrested somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Joe. And
I mean,
I'm gonna go with. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just that the violent nature and the graphic nature of the action scenes in that episode, they were all great. Like there wasn't a single bad episode, but I mean, just the violence and the graphic nature of the violence in that episode just kind of inched it above any other one for me.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the episode after that. I'm going to go with the Weasel episode since
you
picked 4. Okay. And it's because I have like a such an attachment to that character. He reminds me of a cat that I had called Jethro, who was born malformed, and like he ran so funny. He was so cute, but like he was crooked, you know what I mean? And like he just would look at me all psycho like the weasel and stuff. So like I got an affinity for the character anyways, and I always wanted to know about his background. And you find out that like he didn't kill any kids, like it was a bunch of fucking racist cops, or not. They were just misunderstood the situation, maybe. If you want to play devil's advocate, and it was tragic, man. It was, and then like the little girl basically kind of looks like the princess that was like really nice to him, taught him to, and then the princess played fetch with him, and that's what kind of made me like Matt's episode too, is because like you get the final payoff for that too. But yeah, I really liked seeing how the weasel got a tragic backstory, and then like the rest of the episode is just him like being utterly just violent and tearing people apart that are after him in the woods. I love the wood scene too, where like he was hanging out with the wolves and stuff like that. They let him stay with them, but like he's like, I gotta go help my other friends though. It was really cute. He found a place and left. Really touching, emotional stuff like James Gunn can do, making you like almost cry for these weird animal creatures. So he did the same thing in Guardians 3 with Rocket, you know, like
I actually, from watching it again, I actually felt a bit for the woodsman, because he had seen this monstrosity jumping on the children and playing. He probably doesn't interpret it as playing, like being threatening, popping the ball and trying to, you know, shake it out of their hands with his teeth, and then he sees them sees the creature following them into the
building,
the school. And I did feel a bit sorry for him, because it was his fault, wasn't it? He shoots the boiler, the oil spills out, and that's what creates the fire that kills the children. And my word, they did not hold back on how the children died. It was visceral. Like you felt it when the burning timbers were falling on top of the little girl, and then she's trapped there and engulfed in flames. I mean, yeah, fair enough they didn't actually show the children, because that would be a step too far, but they very precisely showed how each of them died.
Oh yeah, this show does not hold back. I mean, and that's one of the major things I loved about it, right? And so good. I mean, like, you could have picked any episode and I'd be like, yeah, it's a good choice. That's a good choice. Like, I don't think there's a single episode you could have picked where I'm like, oh, really? So.
I'll tell you the one that was probably the weaker or the least good. I think the Dr. Phosphorus backstory was a bit, okay.
I didn't like the dance sequence. That was too
much. Like where he becomes like a mafioso himself. Yeah.
Although it did show us the first look of the DCU Batman.
You got to see him in there?
Yeah, Batman was in that episode
a little bit.
He breaks into the club, doesn't he? And he's the one that captures him and sends him to what is it? It's not Riker. Is it Riker Island? What is it? Or is that Marvel?
I don't know. I don't know what it's called.
Blackgate and
that's it. Yeah.
It was Blackgate. Okay.
Well, there's Arkham and Blackgate in Gotham, right?
Yeah.
And So you want to do the clips, Johnny, before we go to our dislikes, or did you want to? We'll do the things we nitpick, and then we could finish off with the videos, or do you want to break it up with those videos now?
I don't know. Yeah, you guys want to watch a clip or two?
Let's watch a clip or two.
Let's watch some clips. Yeah.
You know, clip it up. You got to clip it up. Don't you know, clip it up. You got to clip it up.
Yeah. So how many do you have, Johnny? You had 2 or 3, you said.
Well, there's like 6 of them, but like I'm only going to show a couple of them, the ones that I really like.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Let's see. So what's this clip say? Rick Flag.
Yeah, this is Rick Flag versus Dr. Phosphorus, from the first episode. This is right off the rip. This is the first episode, and this is such an over-the-top fight. It reminds me of the They Live fight between Roddy Piper and Keith David.
You get the package shot. They're showing off
Yeah.
flags, junk. Boy is packing. No wonder why the princess dug him.
There's quite a bit of sexuality in the show too, which
There
they
is,
kind of
yeah.
go.
With Frankenstein, the cuck Frankenstein scene there too. I
Yeah,
was like, holy
Frankencuck.
shit. Frankencuck, yeah.
Cookenstein.
Cookenstein. Oh, it's great though. Look at that. Like,
Yeah, it's a really good
on
animated
fire.
show.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad they didn't go with the basic Bruce Timm style too. It's a little similar, but like it's got more.
Yeah, it's so like, what a great way how he's got like a completely understanding grasp of his powers. Like as he's fighting, he's setting things on fire because he's more or less immune to it, right? So it's so great. Yeah. Oh, this scene's coming up. I love this. You saw this in a lot of the trailers where he just starts bashing him. So good. Here we go. It's coming up.
Yeah, it breaks out.
Yeah.
To be fair, the what's it called? Not coordination. What's it called? The choreography. The choreography film in almost all the fight sequences or action set pieces.
I love
really,
with the
really
oven
good.
mitt. So good. He puts the oven mitt on to smash his head. I love that scene. So good.
And basically, what he Phosphorus is trying to get, if you haven't seen the show yet, that's the controller for the that shocks them in their brain if they try to do anything.
Just like in Suicide Squad, they all have the implants in the base of their neck going into the skull, the brain, the cranium.
And I think this is a good way of showing them kind of like become a bit of a team, like him not shocking him and Phosphorus being like, I don't know, maybe this guy's not a total dick bag.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Flag saying to him at that point, what do you think I'm going to do? Like, I'm not here to torture you. We've got a job to do. Like, I just want us to all get through it. And then he was like, and also, you think this is the only button I have to press? Like this is going to be the only one.
Like the only control. Yeah. It's an app. It's an app on all the phones. Yeah. Yeah. What's the next one you're thinking of queuing up, Johnny?
I was gonna do the first fight scene from the your episode, Joe. This is gonna be GI Robot in the woods with Sergeant Rock and Easy Co. Here,
Sergeant Rock. Yeah. So, do you think has there been any other rumors aside from Daniel Craig to play the Sergeant Rock?
No.
But I saw some mock-ups like people made with him as Sergeant Rock. He'd look pretty good. I mean,
I think it'll be good. I think he's a good actor.
He's a good actor. Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say he's both capable of drama and comedic acting as well. I think he does both very well. Yeah. So
did you see the film he did last year? It was just called Gay or something like that, wasn't it?
Oh yes, it's on Mubi. I keep seeing it advertised on Mubi. I don't know. It's called Queer.
Queer, that's it. Yeah, it went completely under the radar. Yeah, completely. Didn't even know it was coming out.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Yeah. So here we go.
Right.
Back. This would be World War II or World War One.
World War II.
Two. Yeah.
Nazis, Joe.
Well, I mean, Germany was involved. Okay, but there weren't no Nazis in the first one, though.
Yeah, and there's a little.
It was just Germans. Yeah,
I like that they involved the other characters from Easy Code too. They didn't just throw Rock in. Like I love.
So you get the shootout. And I mean, another great thing. I thought the animation was very consistent all the way through. There wasn't really a dip in the quality on any of the episodes or scenes. It was very rare that you saw a dip in the quality of the animation. So the production-wise animation was fantastic.
I like this maneuver though, man, because the Nazis have the high ground, so he just I like, and it's simple as hell, but like it's great.
Yeah. I like the way they do the transition, the way the hand pops down to reveal the barrel of the gun. I think it's something that could be quite easily replicated in live action as well.
Yeah. Then he just spins. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah.
It's like when they're...
Oh, he just fucking sawed that guy in half with bullets. That's great. So good.
He's relentless as well.
Yeah. The guts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Classic.
Yeah. Oh, another guy sawed in half. I mean, there's just so many great shots of so many great kills from GI Robot. It's insane.
And this is like the watered down scene. There's a longer, like crazier scene where like GI Robot mows people down later in the episode. That's a must
at the
see.
castle. Yeah, at the castle. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he splits in two, doesn't he? Hovers up.
And this is some good emotional shit too with him with the Easy Co boys, and like he has friends. This is kind of like all GI Robot wants is to like have friends and kill Nazis, man. And like he was
cheers to the team, man.
This is his minute of heaven, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was complete bliss.
A smile. And I love how they went with the sepia toned scene all the way through to give it that old patina look a little bit, you know? Yeah. Good stuff. Was there any other ones, Johnny, you wanted to do?
They have the fight between them and Clayface, which was really cool if you guys wanted to show that.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good. That was an interesting introduction, too, a Clayface into the... do you think they'll do anything with that character, or is it just for this show?
Yeah, that's the horror film I couldn't remember. Someone came with a Clayface script.
So,
yeah.
Okay, was that introduced before this show or after?
After, yeah. It was one of those, it's going to be a small budget, I think 20-30 million or something. It's going to be a like super legit horror.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that with Clayface.
Movie? Like just a straight up body horror? That's killer.
Yeah.
That definitely has a lot of potential. Yeah. Because Clayface, one of my favorite Batman stories from back in the 90s was, I think it was a 3-story arc of Clayface, and I really enjoyed that Batman story in Detective Comics. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah.
And Clayface was pretty full. I like the introduction to him where he was pretending to be the expert, and like he's teaching the class and he just like wants to talk about the lesbians.
Yeah. The teacher's like, and what about the lesbians? All the lesbians on the what's the island called with Wonder Woman?
The mascara.
The mascara, yeah, mascara. But what about all the lesbians?
The guy that's written the script for Clayface is Mike Flanagan. He did Doctor Sleep, which was the Shining sequel.
Yes. Flanagan.
Haunting of Hill House. He wrote Midnight Mass, that was pretty popular on Netflix recently.
Yeah.
And then the director is James Watkins, who did the Speak No Evil remake of the Danish film. It has I can't remember who the lead is now. James McAvoy.
This is awesome, man. Like, check this out. Like, this is a great.
Oh, the
sequel.
bullets, yes. Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. This movie
and he just goes through the tank, man, with the fingers up.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did with it. Yeah, when he's trying to get to the plug, that's clever.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, like she's a great, but I'm a sucker for badass chick, right?
Yeah.
And she's great. I love her character so hard, right? She's good. She goes hard with everything.
I gotta agree with what Spanky said earlier about the sexy corpse.
It's no two ways, mate. Especially when she has a new costume in the final episode, where slightly disheveled. And watching this, it made me think that there wasn't the obligatory episodic action sequence, action set piece. Each time it felt earned. It felt situationally valid to the way the story was going.
Yeah. All right. So is that it, Johnny? Or did you want to do more, or was that the last one?
I think the other ones are kind of like they got Dr. Phosphorus, his origin, and then they got Weasel's memory, and that's just like him looking at the pictures and stuff. So like it's beautifully animated, and they'll show the emotional punches, but it's not as eye-catching as, say, the action scenes we just showed.
There's a lot of great scenes with Dr. Phosphorus, like with the bullets when they're shooting and his radiation deteriorates the bullets as they're coming at him. They have a slow motion where they come close to his head and you see the bullets deteriorating in slow motion. There's so many great scenes with Dr. Phosphorus, action scenes in this as well. I mean, people have to watch this. Even if you're not into animation, I think you'll enjoy this quite a bit. I mean, it goes beyond animation. Like you were saying, Matt, just James Gunn's storytelling with his character development. I mean, he's at the top of his game in this series. I mean, it's unbelievable what a great job he does. And what a wonderful intro to the DCU with this series. I mean, fantastic. But all good things have to have a little bit of negative, so let's start shitting on it a little. So, who wants to go first? We'll let Matt. Matt, what's the one little gripe you had?
Well, I won't say one little gripe. So, when I was watching it the first time, I thought, wow, how I loved the way it trusted the audience to simply just get what was going on with the twist and then the double twist and then the triple twist and to follow it. But like I said, the Creature Commandos involvement is almost void because it would have ended the way it ended if they'd have just left things. And also some of the scenes, so the involvement of Clayface. So he nearly kills Rick Flag, but he needs Rick Flag to go back to tell them that it's fake, when in actual fact it's not. The princess is a lunatic. Like, that's the final twist, because they're trying to save her, then they have to kill her, and then they stop them killing her, and then the final twist is that, well, yeah, she needs to die because it is actually her. So the whole involvement of Clayface just doesn't work in the way that they actually progress it. Like, the way he needed to, specifically when he's having the fight with Flag, because he just reveals the whole thing. He doesn't allow the machination to play out. He exposes it immediately, and also he nearly kills Flag. So to what end was that? He needed him to be alive to go back and give the news. And also with the what's her name? The one that's also in Eternals.
Who's that?
The Amazonian.
In the beginning. Cersei,
yeah. So why does Cersei need a team of incels that are just basically getting in the way? Surely she could simply have approached the castle and just boiled her in her own blood in the castle, snuck in, invisible, killed her in any number of despicable ways. The incel thing was just another thing that didn't really need to happen. That got in the way of, but again, the story had to happen. So yeah.
But I get what the incels as her foot soldiers were. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the story itself had summer balls. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit low hanging and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because I mean, instead of having maybe Nazis as her foot soldiers, incels, people can get behind. Offing a few incels, you don't feel so bad about it. I mean, but it was weird though that her foot soldiers or her army was just a bunch of incels. It was kind of, I don't know. Well, maybe
they're known for simping though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense too.
But she doesn't need them. She don't need them.
Well, maybe she likes being simped over.
Then keep it in the bedroom. Because I mean, she's one of Wonder Woman's oldest foes, isn't she? And she's basically trying to constantly undermine her with increasingly complex and unnecessarily complicated plots to unravel Wonder Woman as an idea, as much as in her corporal form. But yeah, maybe this is just in character for Cersei, that she overcomplicates things. I don't know.
Yeah. So mine, you want to go or do you want me to go, Johnny?
I was just gonna say to Matt, like I think it kind of plays to her being a demigoddess. You know what I mean? Like the worship aspect that it comes ingrained with that type of personality.
All right. Well, you can have her, and I'll keep the corpse. Joe, do you want the frog?
Damn. Well, I get a corpse and a frog at the same time.
Oh,
She ends up dead at the end. Well, Johnny,
extra hole.
Oh, gross. That's bad.
That's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Johnny and I share a similar one, and me, it would be, I'm not the biggest fan of David Harbour as the voice of Frankenstein. I find he voices him in a goofy way. Like when I thought Frankenstein, I was thinking more maybe a bit of an accent, maybe a British accent to him or something. But he seems almost, I don't know, like John Malkovich, you know, like he's got this weird accent that he uses, and the interpretation of the character, like this murder crazy Bride of Frankenstein obsessed, like to the point he is, I thought was a little over the top, and I would have liked to have, I don't know, maybe it'll change in the second season, but I thought that was probably the weakest character of the entire series, was maybe the Frankenstein character. I think James Gunn could have maybe approached it in a slightly different manner. And I think maybe David could have maybe, like Johnny said, dressed his voice up a little more.
He didn't need to, like Matt said, like he's also didn't need to be in this season. They could have introduced him way later. He didn't really think he went with Rick Flag on a detour that, like Spanky said, if you would like watch it and like you're thinking about it, you're like, this kind of arc doesn't make too much sense. You know what I mean? So like I think that they just kind of wanted that character in there, and like they wrote that whole subplot that Matt was complaining about just to cram that character into the movie or into the show, and like he didn't actually need to be in this season. They could have showed maybe at the very end, like him finding out that the bride is active and like she's about, and like bring him in next season. That could have been cool.
With the backstory premise for each, the setup in each episode, can you just justify the bride without Frankenstein though?
But he could have just been in the flashbacks and then make his official appearance in present time, like in the season finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he definitely has to be there in the flashbacks because he's an integral part of their story. Is so tied together. You can't have one without the other, basically, right? They're like they're part of each other's story, whether they like it or not. Like that's the whole crux of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's bride. So
yeah. And so when you look at his flashback episode, that there's 30, 40 years in between each of the times he manages to find her. So yeah, you could quite conveniently wait the week after this season.
And one thing I would have loved is if they did an episode, Frankenstein and the Bride, one episode where you get the exact same story, but from his point of view, and you get the exact story from her point of view, and it tells a completely different story, but the exact same event, right? I would have loved like that, a contrasting story, just one episode where it's a contrasting story of the two. Like one of my favorite X-Files episodes was one like that with the vampires, and I thought that was a great episode. It was fun, it was funny, and I thought you could have done kind of an interesting, clever episode with the bride and Frankenstein in that manner. But you know, those are just little things. And the other thing that I mean, you wouldn't have a show without it, is how constantly like how villains have to be humanized, right? Where not too many villains are actually evil anymore. Like just pure evil, bad people. They're like you always have to give them like this backstory where you relate or sympathize with them. Like there aren't too many true villains left in storytelling anymore. Like just a despicable person where you're like, yeah, that person has no redeeming qualities. Every single character has like, and it's all right to have a few like Weasel. I get it, great story, but a few of them you could have been like, yeah, they're just evil, and they're in this compound because they are evil. They don't have to be a victim of circumstance, right? And I mean, but that's just a small gripe. Like, I love the show. Yeah. I thought the backstories were fantastic. So whatever. I mean, it's just a small caveat.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, it's most of them was, someone they cared about died.
Yeah, exactly. So you relate to it. You're like, oh, I'd probably do the same thing maybe in the circumstance, in the heat of the moment, and on the spot, like.
I do like your idea of doing like a Rashomon type Bride and Frankenstein episode though.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know if you've seen that X-Files episode where Scully and Mulder tell their versions of the story, but that's a fantastic X-Files episode. I'll have to go and check, but I think it's season 5, episode 8 or 9. Anyway, it's a good.
That's
episode.
Good knowledge if that's true. Yeah. If you got that, I'm impressed.
I'll have to go back and check. But...
I was gonna say, who's gonna fucking check that though? Yeah. Oh yeah, season 5, episode 8. Yeah. Don't worry about it though. I'm sure I've got it right. Don't worry about it.
I'll go. I'll double check and I'll drop it. I'll drop it in the comments after we're done recording. I'll go double check it and make sure I'm right. But Johnny, man,
what am I going to do? Go rewatch the X-Files to find out? I don't think so, Joe. I think...
No, but just the one episode.
Well, I mean, how long were they?
An hour.
You think I've got a spare hour?
Why not? You watched you just binged Creature Commandos a whole second time.
Oh yeah, for the purpose of having this nice conversation with you two gentlemen.
Johnny, man. Do you have anything you want to add to the negative notes?
Yeah, I don't think either of you guys are gonna agree with me, but I'm Dean would. The music in this particular show, I usually do enjoy James Gunn's needle drops. The constant just playing of this one band in this show got on my fucking nerves. Now, I like Russian punk rock. I listen to Pure Gin. There's a couple of bands I really, really like. There's a whole fucking scene over there. There's not just this one fucking clown band that was out 20 years ago.
They did put an album out a couple years ago.
Okay. Yeah, they're fun for like maybe a track, but like every single episode had to have them shoehorned into it. And it's like I get that like this is taking place in Eastern Europe and you want to have some Eastern European punk rock, but like they have more than one band. It's not.
Yeah.
And I get the Gorgo Bordello.
I don't think it was Go every time.
There was a few others, but definitely heavily featured.
Oh yeah, 50%.
And I get that they're like the Romanian Dropkick Murphys. They mix punk rock with like the actual
gypsy type.
Yeah, the cultural music and stuff like that. And I respect that for what it is. You know what I mean? Because I'm an Irish American. I love my Dropkick Murphys. So like for the Romanian Americans, I'm like glad Gorgo Bordello is there for you. I just do not really enjoy the band, and I kind of.
Well, they came to prominence because Madonna had them as a support act on a world tour, and then they were picked up by like Zane Lowe when he was doing the evening sort of indie show, and he started promoting them after that, and they were a flash in the pan, like Start Wearing Purple, and then they just disappeared.
I remember like they were on Hellcat Records. I think Tim Armstrong signed them over here. And like I don't remember them just kind of being around the punk scene for about 15 minutes and 2003 or something like that.
I was disappointed that they did the stripped back version of what's it called? People are strange when you're a stranger. I just echoing the Bunnyman. The very worst use the Doors, but.
I don't know. I like the Echo and the Bunnyman version ever since the Lost Boys. I think that's why
I did. It's brilliant, but they they used some female singer, didn't they, in a very sort of lo-fi, stripped-back version of it, like almost a sort of acoustic with a.
Like trailer music. I blocked that shit out.
Yeah. That's exactly. But yeah, I really would have preferred if they'd used Echo and the Bunnymen. Like I said, at worst the Doors, but yeah, Echo and the Bunnymen. Come on.
Yeah, but yeah, I could see like there were like 4 I think Goggles songs throughout the series. Almost one per episode. There's maybe 2 episodes where they didn't have. So I could
some
see
music I like too, though, like that kind of spaghetti western ska that they're playing. I'm not sure what that kind of rockabilly with the Spanish horns is called. I like it. That sounds pretty cool.
But I mean, I could see for sure if you don't like Goggle, then woo. Because they almost played the entire track, right? When they put it on, it wasn't just for like a 20-second
especially
scene, you know.
Yeah, especially the one where they actually show up in the
but
Frankenstein and the Bride are fighting throughout the ages, right? Is when that song plays.
Yeah. But and to be fair to James Gunn, though, at least he tries different stuff. Like in Peacemaker, we used the hair metal. The cock rock stuff of the late 80s, early 90s, and then he had the big 70s songs for Guardians. Like at least he has.
What do you think he's going to do for Superman? Like honestly, like grunge. He hasn't done grunge yet.
I think it's going to just simply be
orchestra, a score.
Yeah, it's just going to be the score. There might be some, didactic music at some point, but.
Really, in a James Gunn movie though? I mean, like he's never done that before. Like he's always needle dropping.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But I think he knows how important the film is, and I think this is going to be a very different James Gunn film.
Yeah, it needs to make at least $1 billion. 2 would be preferable. I think that like if this doesn't make $1 billion, the Zaslav is going to just dump DC.
No, I disagree with that. I think the only thing they need to do is make a good film, and that's simple as that. And generally, that does lead to money at the box office. But let's say the film costs 300, 150 to 200 marketing. That's 500. Cinemas take their cut, 750. If they can reach that 600 to 700, small loss, small profit. They just need to recover the brand because they don't go to streamers. People will watch it. Like there's a continuation of a good film.
Studios don't think about that though, man. It only matters that first week and what it brings in domestically, man. And David Zaslav is a fucking pig human being. And like if this movie doesn't make at least $1 billion, like I don't know what he's gonna do. Because like
we'll see. We'll see when it comes around.
Woman of Tomorrow's starting production, isn't it? Soon, if it's not already. Like that'll be in production this year. And then there's another one that has started recently, but I'm not too sure. Is it Brave and the Bold? Oh no, because we don't even have an actor for Batman yet. No. So I think we'll look, unless the whole phase or whatever they're calling it, the first run of films, unless they're all disastrous, I think they'll. I think. Like I said, with Superman, they can afford for it to not make loads of money, but it's got to be good to get the interest back. And then the next film and the next film and the next film. Like what the MCU did, by the time you got to Ant-Man, you thought, oh, shit, like this is the one that could mess it up. And then that was good. It was good enough. So it's just about getting that momentum back for them. But, I mean, you might be right. Zaslav is absolutely ruthless. So, I wouldn't be surprised either way, Johnny.
Yeah. Who do you see them getting as Batman? Guard?
I don't know.
Jake Gyllenhaal is Batman. Like I'm calling it.
You think? I don't know.
He's got that Bruce Wayne look to him. He's as old as Ben Affleck is.
I guess when he first. That's a tough one. I don't know.
Ryan Gosling.
He's a short Batman, short King Batman. They're taking it back to the
Michael Keaton
days, the little midget Batman.
It worked. That film made Bad Bunny, man.
What about Paul Mescal?
Who?
Paul Mescal.
Mescal. Who's he? What's he been in?
He was in Gladiator 2. He was leading that. He did.
Oh no,
After Sun
that guy
and
was
All of
the
Us Strangers.
film.
Okay. I'm not overly familiar with them. Yeah.
He's a great actor though, and he's big. He After Sun, I think, was my favorite film of 2021, and then he did one with the priest from Fleabag, whatever his name is, called All of Us Strangers in 2022, and that was my second favorite film of that year. He's a really good actor. I mean, Gladiator 2, I've not seen it, but I hear it's not supposed to be very good, but I think he could do a job.
It's pretty rad, but like he is the worst part in his own film, man. Like they should have hired anybody else, because like he is worse than Henry Cavill was in Man of Steel. Like he is.
I like that. I liked Man of Steel. I thought he was a good Superman.
I think by the time we got to Justice League, he was an okay Superman, but like he was a plank. He was a popsicle stick in fucking Man of Steel.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting, the new Superman with the brighter colors and more to the comic. I'm interested to see that and see how people react to it, because it's going to be almost a polar opposite to the Snyder Superman. So
yeah, because everything, like, everybody's already introduced. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry.
Dog, you even got the dog. Like, he's not afraid to go a little goofy, you know, with the dog introducing. What's the dog's name again?
Crypto,
yeah, bringing Crypto in. I mean,
and then he's got a cat named NFT.
Oh, are you serious? That would be hilarious as a little joke.
Yeah. I think what Creature Commandos gave us with Themyscira seems to be pretty much mystery, but only recently confirmed. So I don't think Wonder Woman's been presented to the world yet. In the same way that Nina seemed such a mystery, they didn't question whether she could have been Atalantan. So I think there's still parts of the mythos that is, just that, a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be some reveals down the line, but I don't think either of those characters. There's the one Themyscira series, isn't there, that's kind of going through the ages, but I think that again is going to be animated.
Okay,
I didn't hear anything about that. That's cool.
Hey Phil, how's it going?
What's going on, fellas?
Not much.
Hey, sorry if the audio is a little out of sorts. I'm in my car. I'm just driving home from the side gig, heading home. So I didn't want to completely miss out on any of the fun, because Creature Commandos and the DC universe is my jam. So
there you go. You want to do a rapid fire?
Yeah, sure, man.
All right. Favorite episode?
Ooh. What do we have in total? There was 9 episodes.
7, I think. Yeah.
7. Okay, I say I knew it was an odd number. I would say favorite episode had to have been. This is me just going on a limb. People are driving like they've never driven before. So off the top of my head, I think it was episode 5.
Okay, what's the story of that one?
Okay, now this is where you're gonna catch me in a muck, because I could be totally misquoting, and it could be from episode 4, it could be from 6.
Yeah.
It was the backstory. You know how each episode, one of the Creature Commandos, kind of, you got to see them, like how they became to where they're at now, right?
Yeah.
One of my personal, I was a big fan of The Bride's amazing.
Okay.
Nina and the Bride, as they kind of formed, like they were like the polar opposites, and they kind of became pretty much a tag team in my eyes, you know, like besties.
Yeah.
And then obviously I hated seeing Nina get slain, but you know, you got to add some plot twist. You got to add some type of you can't get everything we want out of it. And that was a super low point for me, but I see kind of why they did it. But I want to say it was the episode 5. Like I said, I could be wrong, but where we see Weasel and see how Weasel became, and that saddening backstory of he was actually trying to be the hero and save the kids, but it was staged and framed as he was like in there murdering kids in a burning building. You know, like
I
don't know. I just know I went into this show with no Creature Commandos knowledge whatsoever, and after like the first or second episode, I was like, dude, this show was badass.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I was a big fan of it, and I hated that. Not hated, but it just kind of sucked. It was only 7 episodes. I mean,
but
10 maybe.
I think it was great. 7 was perfect. I found you know. Like,
I'm just being selfish. I'm just being greedy.
Yeah, but we're getting a second season, so that's fantastic.
I agree, 100%. And I liked how they incorporated Amanda Waller, still same voice from the live action. And just as I jumped in, I heard, hey Matt, I'm Phil. It's nice to meet you.
How's it going, Phil? Thank you.
Hey, I heard Matt kind of touching briefly on Themyscira kind of being like a mystical, like we haven't really been introduced to it yet in this particular instance. So I mean that's kind of cool. And just like the screen time that we got to see of I'm brain farting on her name right now.
Cersei,
yes.
Yeah. I've been doing that the whole episode. It's just like there's a little plug that my mind just won't. It's like locked it away.
Yeah. Johnny's the only one that remembered her name.
I don't know why I always want to say Hera, but I know Hera, that's from Thor and from the Marvel. But no, yeah, I just, like I said, I was just gonna watch it because it was something new. It was. I at the time I don't really think there was anything else really that was new coming out that was gonna get my attention otherwise. So this was a total random shot in the dark, and I mean 10 out of 10. I don't want to give it that because that means it can't get any better. But for me, like personally, it was like a 9 out of 10 show for me.
Nice. Anything you didn't like, or that you were hoping to see that you didn't see, or any negatives that you'd see from this show, or that you would change, or see that you didn't?
Well, I don't recall if we were already informed that there would be a season 2 before season 1 even ended.
Okay.
I don't think I personally knew that, so but I mean, I guess at the end you would be kind of more surprised to see them not go into a second season with the ending of season 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still at mourning for my girl Nina. That sucked.
Yeah. Matt, that was Matt's favorite episode as well. Yeah.
It was rotten.
I mean, just like I don't know.
It had to.
Yeah, for sure. After the episode was off, and I got calm myself down a little bit and was like, well, why did they do that? And I was like, okay, well, I guess it does make sense. But of all people, they're not going to kill off the bride. They're not going to kill off. I'm not saying she was a main character, but I feel like the bride kind of carries the team to this point.
Yeah. She's definitely the leader. Like, you got Flag, and then she's the actual leader, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It was kind of cool too with that princess who they were initially sent to, what they assumed was to guard her.
Yeah.
And how she ended up kind of turning out to be, I wouldn't necessarily say she's a bad guy, but in her own sense, she is. I guess just depending on your perspective. She just seemed like she was this somewhat sweet, innocent, closetly horny princess.
Closetly horny. Yeah. Well, we watched a clip earlier, and with Rick Flag's package that they showed off in a close-up, I mean, no
can't blame her, right?
Yeah, can't blame her. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't really too many things, I guess, that I thought or was thinking like, hey, they could have or should have did it this way. I think everything just kind of was just fluent. It was all just like reading like, a great comic series, and just like, that's how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah. Agree.
I'll tell you what's going to be interesting when Peacemaker comes back later in the year. How, because they're in the same sort of part of the universe, aren't they?
Yeah, that Suicide Squad type.
Yeah. Amanda Waller's probably going to be involved in that again. Oh, and then fucking John Economos. John Economos. The guy from Peacemaker.
Diebeard.
Yeah.
Diebeard.
Yeah.
And I like in the final battle where he falls over when he's the only one that won't go into battle, and then he trips over the fence and sprains his ankle. And then they say, oh, what happened to your leg? And he's like, oh, I was fighting aliens, saving the world. No biggie.
All right. So I guess we'll be wrapping it up. We've been going for almost an hour and a half on Creature Commandos, which I never thought. I thought we'd be struggling to reach 45 minutes an hour. So let's go around the table and have everyone's final thoughts on Creature Commandos. So who wants to go first?
We didn't cover what people wanted out of season 2, but are you in a you got to go, Joe?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I thought we did season. Okay, what do people want to see in season 2? Sorry about that. I thought we talked about it. Yeah. So
just more of the same, dude. That's all.
Yeah.
More of the same.
Yeah.
Just keep it coming.
Yeah, I hope. I'm not sure how this is. I feel like I have came across it, may have been already forgotten as far as like how the animated show is going to be. Not everything I guess has to be continuity with like a live action to animated. Like whatever universe or world that we're in with the Creature Commandos, I'm all for it. It would be a show that like I know that this they dropped these weekly, correct? It wasn't like a whole series was dropped
weekly. Yeah.
It's definitely a show that I will when season 2 comes out again. I won't let a week go by without catching that new episode. It had my attention from first episode till the ending. So I mean, if they stay on course, I feel like obviously with the season 2, I'm sure it's already got its story, its script, what have you. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like it was but it was darn near perfect of a show in my opinion.
Yeah, it was good.
It'd be interesting to see how the new characters fit in. Like, is it King Shark and Nosferatu? And I can't remember who the other ones were. Yeah, when they gave them their own wing at the end of it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think it'll be the same characters plus them, or do you think minus a few characters?
I think it might be one like when Young Justice came back in the 3rd season. They just had so many characters by that point that it was mission specific.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Because they had like a squad of like 20-25 sidekicks and young versions. So yeah.
Okay.
What I'd hope to see as like them bring in some more actual horror characters from like kind of more modern DC, because I would like I know they had like a generic vampire, but I'd like to see like Andrew Bennett or like Mary Queen of Blood from iVampire show up on the show. I think that would be like a really cool snag. I also I had somebody else too.
Maybe Grundy, Solomon Grundy.
Grundy, or no, the Mr. Kim, the guy that's the zombie. Have you ever read xOMBI, like from DC? Like, he's a really cool, like basically like he got fused with nanites basically. So, but like he's technically a zombie, but like he can like multiply whatever he's holding and stuff with his nanites. Okay. He's a really neat character. Like Fraser Irving and Jonathan Rossum did a really good 6-shot of his, like kind of right before New 52. Like it's stuff like that I think would really kind of bump up the show's kind of coolness with the lore, because I like the characters I already have, but like King Shark, why the fuck does he have to be a creature commando? I get that he's a creature, but like he's not really a horror character. And then that vampire they had, like it's just trade him in. Like the DC has some fucking cool vampires running around.
Yeah. Well, I'd like Phil. I love the show. There isn't much I would change, and if James Gunn is as involved in season 2 as he was season 1, I'm confident he'll do the characters justice and give us a great story. The only thing I really want to see is the bride get her 2 extra arms. I would love that. Like somehow she gets an upgrade in there. Like Waller's like, all right, we'll give you. Oh, maybe she'll inherit the arms from what's her name that got killed in the season finale. Maybe that's how she'll get 4 arms. They'll cut her arms off and throw them on the bride. That would be pretty rad. Forever. Anyway,
justice for Nina, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She'll be a part of the show.
I think it was when they did like an origin. Go ahead, Matt. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, not at all, mate. It was not important. You fire away.
I think it was when they were doing the I'm trying to remember whose origin or who, like what scene it was when they the shadow of Batman appeared from like the rooftop.
Phosphorus.
Phosphorus, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of, I guess, interested or curious to see going forward in the next season if we see, you know, a Batman or a Wonder Woman or one of, like, you know, one of the more well-known kind of DC characters make an appearance, or if they just kind of do like another little Easter egg-ish type of deal with that. Because I mean, it wasn't really much of anything, but it was kind of a cool little touch to have the shadow of Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to say the most obvious thing, but John Constantine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't see him being. I can't picture him being implanted with the chip and all that. Like, I could see him being introduced to a story when they're on a mission somewhere. Yeah, like
that's what I mean. Yeah,
meeting Justice League Dark somewhere, or Yeah.
I kind of really dislike main universe John Constantine when they do it, because they always make him like able to just do magic out of his ass and stuff like that. And
Anyway, so
leave that for Zatanna.
Yeah, this was a pretty.
Zatanna would be cool.
Yeah, she's.
And Joe said earlier, dead man, but like
dead man, yeah.
But like I don't see him joining the team, but he could be like somebody that they work with, you know,
run into on a mission. Yeah, exactly.
Or like a hero that Waller calls in to, like, you know, help them get in, because like his power,
kind of like a flag type character, right? Yeah. There to oversee the team, or exactly. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, pretty glowing reviews all around, and So final thoughts before we sign off.
Well, rating, how about that? Like Matt already said, Phil already said 9 out of 10. I'm gonna go. It's a 7.5, man, almost an 8. Like that's like on the better end of like anything I'll give something. Like this is definitely like a superb start to the universe, and yeah, man. Like I really hope that the other stuff that James Gunn's got coming out soon lives up to like this is excellence, you know what I mean? Like, but if this is all we get that's actually really good, I'm glad we got this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Matt, do your stick, man.
What do you mean, do my stick?
You can't 7 out of 10 watch something.
Oh my god! Well, that's what. That's what we. That's what we. Well, on my podcast, Joe, I think you'll find that we don't do anything as trivial as attribute them, because you can't 7 out of 10 watch something. So we either say, would you recommend it or would you not recommend it? And I'm telling you now, Joe, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10.
There you go. Nice.
Don't tell Tim.
Don't tell Tim. I'd be up there too. A good 8.5, pushing on a 9. I mean, it's solid. Like, it's really good. I highly recommend. I mean, like I said, you might not be into animations, but I'm almost positive if you like comics, comic book related entertainment, you'll love this. So,
agreed.
Go watch it. And it's half-hour episodes to boot. And he does such a fantastic job of telling a deep, complex story within that half hour. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's a quick watch.
Especially with the flashbacks.
Yeah,
especially with it is really, really good writing, isn't it?
Yeah. So
really good, skillful.
Half-hour episodes, 7 of them. You get through the whole season in a couple, like 2-3 hours. I mean, you're done. I mean, so what's stopping you? It doesn't take that much time off your hands. You have half an hour to kill. Pop on an episode and watch them that way, you know. But definitely don't sleep on this, because it's fun. It's great. Highly recommend. There.
So
that's
you got any last words, man?
No, I mean, I will just reiterate verbatim what Joe just said. It's quick. If you haven't seen an episode, it's like, you know, a 3-hour. Just it's a long movie. If you binge it all, and you won't, in my humble opinion, you would not be like a disappointed. Like, I just wasted my time. It's so entertaining. There's really no like lull or dull moments of any of the episodes. It's just there's always something going on, and everyone gets for the most part, every character gets their time. You get to know how they became a Creature Commando, and then you see what's currently going on. They, like you guys were just saying, it's so well written between the past and what's currently going on. It's just, I say 9 out of 10 because I feel like 9 out of 10 people really enjoy this show.
Agreed.
Unless you're a Snyder nerd.
Yeah.
But I'm not going there. But I had to sneak it in.
Yeah,
Right at the end.
Well, they hate the show on principle too, which is sad. But yeah, like you said, like we're not gonna get into that. But Joe, we still got Tuesday happening.
Thursday
Thursday with Big Mikey.
Yeah, Big Mike. Thursday doing Ram V episode. We'll be talking about what's the runner? Dawn Runner, and Layla Starr.
Yeah, man.
The many deaths of Layla Starr. Yeah, we'll be touching on some Ram
right
V
on
Thursday. Yeah,
right on.
Yeah, double feature episode.
That's gonna be our normal time of night.
Yeah, 8:00, 8 p.m. Eastern
time. So yeah,
yes,
we'll
sir.
see you guys then. And yeah, definitely check out if you have Max and you haven't watched Creature Commandos yet. What are you doing, dog? Like honestly, get on it. And even if you don't have Max, find a way to watch it.
Exactly.
Until next time, until Thursday, you guys keep it classy, San Diego. All right. See you guys later.